Variety of Deth Complex. This is being played through an NES emulator. This is the third game in the series, courtesy of T-Bone Studios. Now, just like the previous games, the ROM is available for free. Free to download, so anybody can check it out if you so wish. I definitely would highly recommend it. If you're a fan of the previous two games, Bowels of the Beast and Assault on Planet Beezlbub, this is definitely worth checking out. So the previous game was just a platformer, and then you had that was weird. Then you had the platformer with the running and shooting elements, and this one is a melee combat game. Ugh. It's all about memorizing enemy patterns. Restart that. Let's start this again, really. So I previously played this in FCEMU, and this is played it with the Dystopia core through RetroArch. And in the previous core, the game was just crashing left and right. This one's got a couple of crashes so far. Hopefully this will stay relatively smooth here. This is extremely hard to play with a Bluetooth controller, let me tell you. Sometimes, just like in the previous games, where you hold after you die, the previous direction will continue to be held. That's why I died just then. So the game definitely does have some quirks. But overall, the game, I'm stuck. There we go. So overall, the game is the game is a lot of fun. I have actually beat this game once, despite the fact that my gameplay is just not showing to the contrary. There we go. Again, this game is very hard to play on on a small phone screen, as well as being on a Bluetooth controller does not help. But the colors in this game are really, really good. Oh, they really pop. Now, with the previous games, there was a physical run done of the carts. I'm not sure if there's going to be a physical run of these or not, for this one or not. If there is, of course, I'll leave links to that in the description down below. But for now, the ROM is available for free to download for anyone that wants to play it. I will leave a link to get this in the description down below. Yeah, I really like this game. It does have some issues depending on what core you're using, depending on what you're playing it on. This is a Mapper 30 ROM, so it'll work on an NES flash card, on a real NES. It'll work on most emulators. I believe FCEMU and Messen are two of the emulators that are recommended. However, like I was saying before, or I may have said it before, I will say it again. FCMU, at least for RetroArch on Android, I've had a lot of crashes with it, so you may want to look if you're going to use RetroArch like I am. I was just using the Messen core. Sorry, the Dystopia core, sorry, excuse me. Oh, I know you can kill those guys. Those guys you can't kill, though, I know that. Yeah, they just tried. So you get 2 hits before you're dead, which is definitely handy. Should have done that before. That would have saved me a lot of time, right? Oh. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. It's this part where I keep getting tripped up. Again, it's all about memorizing enemy patterns. And I haven't seen my other coverage of the previous games. I'll leave those in the description down below if you guys want to check those out. I definitely would encourage you to do so. This is definitely some great games to check out. And again, this is the 3rd game in the series, so definitely worth if you want to follow the story, what little story there is in this game, the series. Definitely worth playing the first 2 before jumping into this one. So if there's a physical run of this game, I am hoping to get a physical cart of this game to finish out the trilogy. And of course, if I do end up getting it, if it does end up coming to fruition, I will definitely cover it as I've covered the previous carts. Oh, come on. So close. If I die, I feel I'm going to die right here. I just know it. Oh, come on. Seriously? That was lame. And I probably said the last 2 games I've covered from these guys. If you're going to play this, I highly suggest playing it on an actual NES. If you have the means, because it's so much easier to control, and it just feels so much better than playing it with a Bluetooth controller, a knockoff PlayStation 4 controller at that. It just doesn't feel as authentic, and there's a little bit of, well, not quite a bit, but there's a little bit of input lag, which is making this game even harder. with these kinds of games, you have to have very, very precise controls. And to play with the controller with a questionable D-pad just does not work. Oh, I made it. Look at that, I made it to the next screen. Awesome. Really? And I die. Because of course I die. Oh, come on. I wish it would not auto move like that. I think that's an issue within NES Maker. That's what this game was made with, along with the previous games. I've come to that conclusion because the previous games have the same issue. And it'll happen on cartridge or ROM, regardless of what you're playing it on. So I think it's just an issue with NES Maker at this point. And if you're questioning what I'm just now referring to, I'm referring to the fact that if you are pressing over to jump onto a platform and you end up dying off of a cliff or get hit by an enemy like that, when you restart, you will just automatically start running and die immediately. But yeah, I mean, despite its issues, this game is really, really well done. It's not as, dare I say it, as cheap as its predecessors. I think it's a lot more polished and definitely speaks to the evolution of the games that these guys have put out. Hey, look, I made it again. Awesome. Okay, so I gotta jump in between those spikes and then get up and over. It's all about really. I say that and then I just automatically die. Oh man, this game is awesome. And believe it or not, there are checkpoints in this game, just like in the previous games. It'll just take some doing to get to that point. I'd really like to see these guys do like a more traditional, like run and gun counter-like shooter, or maybe even like a beat 'em up game. I think it would be pretty awesome. Oh, come on. That was cheap. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. So, this has been a look at Deth Complex being played on a NES emulator through RetroArch. Again, this is using the Nostovia core. Highly recommend this game to anyone that's a fan of these guys' work and or want a very challenging, extremely challenging platforming game. Definitely checking out this one as well as the previous games in this series. Again, there's 3 of them. All of them free to download, and I will leave a link to get them all in the description down below. And I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank T-Bone Games for putting this on my radar. Although I had a feeling it was coming. And until next time, take care and happy gaming.